Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Chairman Papam, Managing Committee members, manufacturers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It is an honor to address the Auto Parts Manufacturers Summit 2025. For over 2 centuries, industrialization has been an equalizer, serving as the foundation for every modern-day economic superpower. Since the UK sparked the first industrial revolution, the same playbook has worked across continents and centuries. More recently, the Asian tigers, Hong Kong, South Korea, Taiwan, and Singapore saw sweeping industrialization from the 1960s to the 1990s, transforming these countries from developing economies into leading economies of the world. South Korea's transformation is particularly striking in just 3 decades. It evolved from a war-torn agrarian society to a global powerhouse exporting electronics, automobiles, steel, and much more. These nations did not stumble upon prosperity by accident. They pursued export-led growth strategies, built manufacturing industries designed to compete in global markets, and maintained competitive currency policies that made their products attractive to international buyers. Industrialization consistently delivers higher average incomes and standards of living for entire population. China's rise provides the most dramatic recent example. Government policy shifts in the late 20th century propelled a nation depending on farming into the world's largest manufacturing economy, lifting hundreds of millions of people out of poverty along the way. Pakistan today stands at a similar crossroads. We possess the human capital, the strategic location, and natural resources that these successful nations leveraged during their industrial transformations. And we have the political will under the dynamic leadership of our Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif to implement forward-thinking industrial policies that prioritize manufacturing, attract foreign investment, and position Pakistani products competitively in global supply chains. The blueprint exists. We simply now need to execute it. The auto manufacturing and the auto parts manufacturing industry is an integral part of the large-scale manufacturing in Pakistan. It is this industry which will kickstart the industrial revival of our country. Around the world, auto manufacturers and auto parts manufacturers drive industrial growth. Japan, Germany, Korea, and China proved that excellence in engineering leads to national prosperity. Pakistan, too, is following this path with ambition and resolve. This industry demonstrates remarkable dynamism and growth, contributing approximately 3% to our GDP and poised for even greater expansion. This industry is creating direct and indirect jobs of around 2.5 million and enhancing Pakistan's standing in the global marketplace. The successes of our locally manufactured and assembled vehicle brands like Toyota, Honda, Suzuki, Hyundai, Kia, Haval, MG, BYD, Chang'an, and many more demonstrates the inherent capabilities and resilience within this sector. We acknowledge persistent hurdles like fluctuating and often high energy costs, technological and infrastructure gaps, access to finance, and at times a regulatory framework that hinders our progress towards global competitiveness. Our challenges also are limited volume and dependence on imports. However, to fully realize this vast potential, we must proactively address these challenges and strategically leverage emerging opportunities. I firmly believe in the strength of our entrepreneurs, engineers, and workers, and I've seen that here, that you demonstrated outside. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving in the right direction. The new tariff policy, I've discussed with you many times. The upcoming new industrial policy, which has to go line by line, parallel to the new tariff policy. The regulatory reforms cutting down on superfluous and unnecessary regulation, declining interest rates and declining energy tariffs can transform Pakistan from a domestic supplier into a global competitor. The government is committed. There is no way that we will let you down. I have come here to revive the industry, to revive the industrialization of Pakistan, to move towards economic prosperity. I have not come here to deindustrialize Pakistan. So there is no way that you should have any fear about that. Yes, there has to be a proper balance. Yes, we want you to be competitive. Yes, we want you to not only cater to the Pakistani market, but in order to generate volumes, you should also export. And we will do everything. We will help you in doing that. We have to change direction. The world is moving at an exponential pace. We don't want to be left behind. I visit countries, the airports are packed, the airplanes are packed, the motorways are packed, the train stations are packed. Look at the purchasing power. We've got to do that here. We've got to develop that. And the road to that success is industrialization. And for industrialization, I need you. Through the new energy vehicle policy and upcoming automobile and auto parts policy, demand and supply side interventions, research and development, we are going to drive localization, technology adoption, and export-led growth. Don't be afraid of it. We will move together and make use of these developing opportunities. Countries have declining population. We have the highest population growth rate. We have the highest proportion of the young population. And we must use that as an asset, not consider that as a liability. Our vision is clear: a globally competitive, innovation-driven automobile industry. I call upon the industry leaders, which many of them I saw today and really impressed, educated, visionary, full of dynamism, zeal, and vigor. I have no doubt that they will take Pakistan into the new era of technology, and Pakistan, this industry will lead Pakistan into industrialization and economic prosperity. And when the country gets prosperous, its people get prosperous. When you grow, the GDP grows. When the GDP grows, there are more jobs. When there are more jobs, there is more taxation. When there is more taxation, the country gets prosperous. And that they can develop more safety nets, safeguard, and welfare for the population. But it has to start with GDP growth. And that has to start with industrialization. And that is what we are here for. And that is what is the vision of our dynamic Prime Minister, Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif. Together, let us not remain on the edge of a cliff, but march towards global glory. On behalf of my ministry, the Ministry of Industry and Production, I assure you of our continued support. Let me assure you that the government is committed to fostering an environment conducive to investment, innovation, and expansion, in the automotive industry, working together to make Pakistan a hub of automotive excellence. The government stands with you as a partner in this journey. Let us seize this moment to build a sustainable and a competitive future. Thank you, and Pakistan Zindabad.